Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Marina's Movie Club, part 2 of our episode on Greta Gerwig. Nights and weekends. Very fun.
Yes.
My
And
name
Mumblecore.
and Mumblecore.
Oh, sorry.
sorry. Yeah, I got to do my thing.
Sorry.
My name's Ethan. Her name's Marina. This is Marina's Movie Club. There you go.
Woohoo.
How are you?
Good.
Good.
It snowed today.
It did snow today. How fun was that?
It was so fun.
It was a little winter wonderland.
Yeah.
It was so cool. We got this new bird feeder.
Yeah.
And it's one of those clear bird feeders. You put it outside, suction
window,
cup it
yeah.
to the window, and then all the birds come straight up to your window. And it's sweet. It took about a week or two for the birds to find it.
Yeah.
But once they found it, they all tweeted to each other. And then they were like,
It's called X now.
oh, that's
Yeah.
that's a good one.
Thank you.
Yeah, they X'd each other.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah. What do you call it when you post on X now?
I posted on X. I X'd.
No,
No,
it sounds stupid.
it's dumb.
Whatever.
So on Twitter, they said they tweeted to each other. They said, "There's food here," and there was like 13 birds at a time.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
It was so sick.
I'm
But
doing
then-
my big ear.
Yeah, for all of you non-birders, big ears are a big deal, as you can probably figure out by the
From the
adjective "big."
Yeah. And also you should watch the movie The Big Ear.
Yeah. Oh my
So
gosh,
if
it's
you
such
need-
a funny one.
If you don't know what a big ear is, go watch that movie.
Yeah, that's a good plug
And
for that movie.
I'm at, I think, 37 birds.
Yeah. So a big ear is trying to see the most amount of birds in a category that you set. So Marina is doing a United
American.
States, North American.
Oh, yeah, I guess United
Yeah,
States,
it's a continental U.S. big ear. Right?
Just-
Oh, no, continental is not including Alaska, Hawaii.
Yeah, no, I'm
So-
including all of it.
Yeah, so a 50-state big ear,
Yes.
trying to see as many birds as possible.
Yes.
How many are you
Types
at right
of
now,
birds.
you said?
37.
37
My
bird
goal
species.
is to get to 100.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just impressive. It's only February and you've gotten 37.
I know.
But you know what? I think a lot of that is you're getting, the local birds.
I know. But there are a lot more local birds than I realized.
Yeah. So we just got to go on like an East Coast and a Midwest vacation. And I think
know.
we'll get a lot of them.
In California.
California.
Or Arizona.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Arizona, when we went, we got a lot of birds.
Yeah. So, yeah, we're pretty cool casual birders. Got a big ear
Yeah.
going on.
We just lost half our followers.
Sorry, guys. We're not as cool as you thought we were. We look at birds for fun.
It's so, no, okay. Birding, though, I feel like is the biggest life hack because the other day, because I started doing my big ear, I got excited because I saw a crow and it wasn't on my list yet.
And you were like, yes. Dude, it's seriously, it's like gamifying
Yeah.
being outside.
Yeah.
It's so sick. When I
Pokemon.
describe it to people, I say that it's kind of like doing Pokemon in real life.
Yeah.
Because you're just out on a walk and then all of a sudden like, oh, I've encountered a blue jay. Oh my gosh. And then you have to like log it. And then we have an app called Merlin Bird ID. And then you log the bird and it puts it in the app and then it records it in your life list. And it has a bunch of other tools. It can help you identify the bird. It'll play the bird call for you. And then from there, you just have a long collection of all of the birds you've seen. And it's seriously like a video game,
Yeah.
but just in life. And it's freaking awesome. And everybody needs to be a birder.
Yeah. It's the best.
It's great. And it's great because this is the only video game where there's like no rules. Like your big ear is like trying to see as many birds in the 50 states as possible. My big ear could be like a Washington state big ear. Somebody else's big ear could be a global big ear.
Yeah.
There's one guy that we read about online. I think he called it like a natural big ear.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
And he tried to see as many birds as he could while naked. Which is
It
a
was
great
a
segue.
surprisingly
into the-
large amount.
Yeah, a great segue into the movie.
Unfortunately. Yeah. There's a lot of not sexy naked.
Yeah, lots of fast forwarding to be done. So
Yeah,
I'm
I saw a
sorry
lot
if
more
you did
about-
your homework, and I'm sorry if you, after learning about Mumblecore, that I didn't convince you to not watch Mumblecore movies, and then you watched it, and then you watched Nights and Weekends.
Okay, I will say now that we're here, and whoever watched Nights and Weekends, sorry, but it was your homework. Whoever didn't,
It's your fault.
I I will suggest Funny Haha. I do think is a little bit better.
A little bit?
Yeah.
If it's a little bit better, I still don't recommend
There's
watching
no naked people.
Oh, that's good.
That I remember. I feel like I would remember that.
Yep.
It's funnier, I think, and I think it is the first mumblecore film, so it makes sense, but I feel like it really encapsulates.
Yep.
Encapsulates?
You got it. Encapsulate.
It sounds wrong.
A capsule?
Yeah.
It's encapsulating.
Encapsulated.
You got it. No, that was it.
I forgot what I was saying.
The first mumblecore film.
It is
encapsulated.
mumblecore. Okay.
It's mumblecore
That's what I'm trying
vibes.
to say. Mumblecore, the vibes.
It's mumblecore core.
It is mumblecore core. Yeah, and like I said last time, I do think the puffy chair might be a better option also.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we should do our little introduction.
An actual introduction, yeah.
And then we could get into it.
Mm-hmm.
But I love this one, and you'll see why. Nights and Weekends is Greta Gerwig's directorial debut. It is directed by Greta Gerwig and Joe Swanberg, written by Greta Gerwig and Joe Swanberg, starring Greta Gerwig and Joe Swanberg.
Beautiful.
And that's it. Greta Gerwig and Joe Swanberg.
If that doesn't make you feel like it's a film that we made as children, I don't know what does. Like, do you just remember being in iMovie being like, directed by Marina, written by Marina?
That's so true. Oh my gosh. It really is like, I had this experience as a 10-year-old making silly videos, just trying to make each other laugh. You put it on YouTube. You show like your 3 friends, and then you're like, ha ha ha. And then you find it a couple years later, and you're like, oh my gosh, remember when we did that?
And then someone Googles you in high school and is like, what's this? And you're like, oh my gosh.
You're like, no, please don't look at that.
Oh.
Still have like a Spanish project or something up on my YouTube channel.
Yeah, there's a lot that you can find. Ethan's digital footprint is
large. Unfortunately.
And funny. Mine is just
good content if you want to make fun of me.
Yeah.
But I just didn't know that adults also had this same experience of like making a movie,
fully making it
just
themselves.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Well, adults, they're like 24.
Yeah.
They're not that old.
Well, usually, at this point of the podcast, we could give like a little synopsis, talk about maybe some important themes. Nothing. There is nothing here to talk about.
What's your interpretation of what happened?
Okay, what happened was, there was just a sex scene right off the get-go. Mm-hmm. That was annoying. Why? Yeah. I'm not a fan of sex scenes in movies.
So awkward.
I just personal preferences. Just don't like them. Mm-hmm. Much more of a family-friendly type guy. So really happy when I don't feel the need to fast forward and wash my eyeballs with vinegar. Mm-hmm. So that's one wish list item.
Okay.
For movies.
You wish that would come out of that movie?
I wish we could just take all. Okay. So,
honestly, yeah. The movie would be so much better without
But one of the reasons is it had nothing to do with anything.
Gosh. Yeah.
And it was just there.
It's supposed to tell you, like, the annoying thing is they don't set it up.
No.
So it's supposed to show you that, like, he just got there and they haven't seen each other in 3 months.
Oh, I get that a little bit.
It's not really explained.
Okay, so then they do you want to actually, let's do this. For anybody who didn't watch it, let's do a little improv exercise. Let's just reenact a dialogue scene that they had.
Okay.
Okay, ready? I'll be the guy, you be the girl.
Can I be the guy?
Sure.
No, I'm kidding.
Oh, okay. Okay, and action. Hey. So I was just thinking we should probably get food.
Okay, should we eat it on the floor?
Because
then we'd be like animals.
Well, I don't I don't know if that's
Okay,
what,
whatever.
if that's what you want.
Well, it is. I
get-
was just trying to be fun.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. That's pretty much the pacing with a lot more silence. That's the pacing of the whole movie.
Yeah. And probably one of them is eating chips.
Oh,
Or-
they would not stop talking with their mouth full.
Can we talk about the banana?
I don't have
Okay.
misophonia at all. This movie gave me misophonia. It was
100%.
bad.
And then,
so
but I have
gross.
never been more seen than when, okay, so Joe Swanberg is eating a banana. First of all, there's this giant, gross black spot on it. And I was like, don't eat it. And then he ate it, obviously. And then
Yeah, this is
He was
Marina. Marina in real life was like, ew, gross. That banana's so, like, I would not eat that part of the banana.
I know. I didn't want him to eat it. And you could hear him eating it. And bananas are like the grossest thing to listen to someone eat. And then Greta Gerwig comes in and is like, ew, like, don't eat that part of the banana. And also, it's so gross to watch someone eat a banana because you hear it and you smell it and it's just gross. And I was like, oh my
Which
gosh,
I can get behind.
that's how I feel.
Yeah, the fact that society eats a lot of bananas is thumbs down from me.
Yeah, I'm not a banana person.
Okay, but then you were asking what's my interpretation of what happened during the film. They had some naked time. They argued. Then what happened? Then they went.
think they
They went
argued
to the
again.
Bean, and then they kept
and then
arguing
they argued again. Yeah.
at the Bean in Chicago, and then they went on a train. They separated for like a year, and then I guess they broke up during that time, and then they got back together randomly, like one night in New York. But it was the most awkward thing of all time. Then the last part of the movie is they get naked again. And then they cry. And then that's it. But in between, probably like 4 to 7 more times that randomly clothes are taken off, or you see Greta Gerwig taking a poop on the toilet. And then they keep talking with their mouth full. There's a lot of things out of context. There's a lot of sentences where I'm just like, why did you say that? Like, whoa, what? What does that have to do with anything?
Yeah.
Lots of silence, lots of, I don't know. They just, I don't know. So if that's your kind of movie, man, I don't get it.
No, it's good for research purposes.
I think in a normal movie, we would talk about, like, maybe give a short synopsis, important themes that you can talk about. In this movie, there's not a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
Kind of just a bunch of nothing.
We'll try our best. Okay.
It's a very interesting genre to try to dissect.
Yeah.
Especially, like, I don't want to like bag on it too much, but it's very different than other films.
Yeah. There's no narrative arc.
No, like really none
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
And I guess like in hindsight, you could say like, oh, this happened
I
and this
think
happened.
I could plot it out,
Sure.
but
Very vaguely.
it doesn't make it clear in the moment what's happening,
Yeah.
which is why it doesn't work, I think.
Yeah. And that's the hard thing, is that I understand that there's some like artistic merit that somebody could have in having a goal of making a film like this. But it's really hard when, let's, compare it to, literally any movie. Gosh. I was just,
Think of your favorite movie.
okay, yeah, you at home, think of your favorite movie, and you could probably say maybe a few lines from it, probably quote it. You could probably tell me what the character was doing before the plot started, and then there's this inciting incident where, oh my gosh, now the movie started. Like, now we have a goal and like what the movie is about, and you could
At the
pretty
very least,
accurately-
you could probably tell us what the
Like-
movie's about.
okay, ready? Like, Finding Nemo is about 2 two clownfish,
Mm-hmm.
a father and a son. The son goes missing, and the father goes on a giant rescue mission all across the ocean to get his son back.
That was beautiful.
Fascinating story. Love it. This movie, it's about
People
a couple, two people.
who are dating for
But-
like 80% of the time, maybe?
And then kind of aren't dating at the end. I was confused. So going back to your notion of like that, I think that part of it is on purpose. Like part of it is supposed to be raw and like
I think it literally
authentic.
is supposed to feel like you just are invading their privacy.
It feels like I have an invisibility superpower and I'm holding a camera and they don't know that I'm there.
Yeah.
It just feels so weird.
I feel like I think it's trying to make you feel like that. I don't know why.
That's interesting.
But I think
And
that's
again,
why it's
like
very
it has
intimate.
a different goal than so many other movies.
Yeah.
It's not trying to have a narrative arc. I don't even think it's trying to be interesting. Like not as an insult. Like it's just like I think it is
I mean,
very
if they
obvious.
were trying to be interesting, they would have had an interesting plot.
Yeah. And it's
Premise,
not.
whatever.
It's not like it's in a way. It's not even attempting to entertain you.
Mm-hmm.
It is just like raw, and it's just like life. And I'm not saying that that's the good thing.
I'm not quite sure what you just said there.
Audibly.
You're not saying something that I don't.
I was saying that I don't think that that's a good thing. But I was trying to rethink my sentence as the words were coming out of my mouth so many times.
Now I'm lost. Okay. What's not a good thing?
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
Man, my ADD brain is I rethink sentences as I say them and I pick different words
Halfway
along
through.
my meandering path.
You just pull them, pluck them up.
Yeah. So I was pointed out, I do some public speaking for my job, and I was pointed out by my coworker that sometimes I use poor grammar. Like,
Sorry.
what?
You used poor grammar to explain that you used poor grammar.
Well, yeah.
I was pointed out, is what you said.
Oh my gosh,
But
see what I'm
I know,
saying?
that's what I'm saying, is that like you used, like you did it.
I didn't even know that I did
You
that.
did it in the sentence when you were explaining it.
It's just a perfect thing to do when you have a podcast, right? I have, and I think it's because I have ADD, but I also was never diagnosed with ADD. So I'm
This is a
learning
new
this
development.
as I'm an adult. But I start my sentence and I'm going somewhere. I have a destination. We hit the GPS on go.
Start, go.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm driving. And
Okay.
then somewhere along the way, I'm like, ooh, squirrel. And then I go, ring. And then but then I'm like, oh no, I have to reroute my GPS. But you didn't know that I turned to go see the squirrel. All you know is that we're going somewhere.
Yeah.
So then all of a sudden I rerouted the GPS and you're like, why was that the word you chose? And I have no way. I feel a little hopeless in improving that skill because it's just like I can't fix the way my brain thinks. But I'm trying. It's getting
Yeah.
better. Anyways, all of this to say, what was interesting about this movie compared to other movies is that it is not attempting to entertain you. It's not attempting to have a plot. It's just raw and real.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they did it well.
Okay. Yeah.
So I don't know if it's a good thing. But overall, I do understand the choices that were made. I'm just not sure that this is maybe the best example of the best execution.
Yeah.
Is that fair to say?
Yeah. It's so hard to talk about this movie and Mumblecore and not talk about Lady Bird yet. But I just feel like Lady Bird is such a better, like it's not Mumblecore, but it does such a good job of giving you kind of this slice of life, like film that isn't really about anything, but it still is. But the main thing it's about is about Lady Bird and her mom and Lady Bird discovering who she is. And there's not a lot of big events that happen opposed to like other, like, it's not like, it's way more character based, you know?
Right.
So, and then you get these really good conversations that are very random and most other filmmakers wouldn't put into their movies. But
Yeah.
I think,
You know, most other filmmakers wouldn't show the main character going to the bathroom.
well, yeah, but
we got that in this one.
It's supposed to make you feel uncomfortable, I think. And like
It's just an interesting goal to attempt to make your audience uncomfortable.
well,
And
I think uncomfortable is the wrong word. I think it's more that you're invading their intimate spaces, and you're getting like a look into their very
Sure,
deep
I get that.
lives or whatever.
Look, I gotta get in the shower every day,
Okay.
and that is even that's like more than enough naked people in my life. I don't need to see
it
naked people again on my television.
Yeah.
I just don't like it. I also just think it's this kind of like dangerously overglorified thing in media.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it does good things to your brain. There's just so many things that I don't like about sex scenes, especially when they're unmotivated. I think I could
these are
understand.
definitely unmotivated.
I think the term that you taught me that's used in book talk is closed door versus open door sex scenes,
Yeah.
where closed door is kind of like an implied that they were intimate, but open door is like they were intimate and here's how it happened.
Yeah.
And I think I'm a significantly larger fan of closed door, not only for my own content preferences, but also for the necessity. Like if you really think for your story that it's necessary that two people are intimate, then I think it's fine.
Yeah. And I think there are good examples of when it happens.
Right. But I never, like, I really don't think there's ever a circumstance that there should be that you need to show people naked on the screen.
Yeah.
Like, I just really feel that even if it is motivated, that there is no need to do it in a way that is actually productive enough to, like, for me to get behind the idea.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think it puts people in a, kind of sketchy
It takes
situation.
you kind of out of it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
But then you get, I think the thing that I really don't like about it is, think about the Harvey Weinstein, other people in the film industry. It's just very, like, behind closed doors. It is very sexually manipulated, and it's sad.
Yeah.
And it's also partly that way because we've glorified sex in society so much through media and through movies that we're just like, oh, we're teaching people that this is how you think, and this is. So, anyways, that's a kind of larger tangent. Greta Gerwig, as I understand this movie to be made, like, made these decisions. She directed it, and she wrote it, and she starred in it. So she was in control of the process front to back.
Assuming so, yeah.
So I would assume that nobody told her, like, hey, I think you should get naked on camera. But I also just don't think that it did anything for the story. And it took me out of it.
Yeah.
To the point to where, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
So that's my rant on nudity in movies.
It's fair.
Thanks.
Yeah.
But I also just think, I'm curious your thoughts. I think it's hard for me to even call this a movie, not in a mean way, but it just feels like a different genre almost so dramatically that it's like, oh, is this even a movie anymore? Because it's, again, not attempting to be entertaining, not attempting to have a storyline. It has weird goals, like trying to make you uncomfortably intimate with the characters. So, like, do you feel like it's a movie? Obviously not in the traditional sense, but maybe like,
well, I think, like,
as a medium.
Are we defining a movie by having a 3-act structure or like the hero's journey or whatever? Because I don't think that's true either of most films. I think there's a lot of films that don't really make sense. And I think it also doesn't have to be good to be a film. You know?
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of films that I
Well,
don't
it's also
like that other
so
people
subjective.
like. Yeah.
Right. I think the hard thing is the question of like and this is very philosophical, but like what gives something its definition?
Yeah.
Is the definition of a movie that pixels were lit up 1920 by 1080 on your screen? Mm-hmm. Like, is that a movie? Or is a movie like the intention of the artist or the director? Like, this is what I intended.
Or that it has a story.
Or that it has a story.
And you could kind of argue that most things.
And I'm sure Greta
could have a
Gerwig,
story.
Greta Gerwig, I think would argue that this has a story.
Yeah.
I would argue that it lacks a story completely. But in that sense, I think that's kind of where we like disagree about like I feel not aggressively, but like pretty passionately against
Mumblecore.
Yeah, I was gonna say not against Mumblecore completely, but like I just don't. They're all of the parts about movies that I love. Every bit of cinematic filmmaking is not found in Mumblecore.
Yeah,
but again, it's on purpose. It's not like they're doing this on accident and they like accidentally made a bad film. It's just like I really like when movies are aesthetically beautiful, and I like when they are clever, and I like really complex characters, and I really like things like that. I like editing and music and scores and camera work. There's it completely absent.
That reminded me that there's no music in this film.
I think I'm actually curious
so
to
awkward.
if I were to get a stopwatch and time how much silence there is versus how much dialogue there is. I'm really curious to see like it's pretty 50-50 in my head if I had to guess. Like I would probably say 50% silence, 50% dialogue.
Like if you put it into Premiere and you said remove all of the silence, would it be like a 40-minute film?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
It's just I feel like there's a lot of things even in this podcast that I would discuss usually that I feel like are just there's not a lot to discuss because not a lot happened.
Yeah, I don't think it's not really a movie to dissect. I think it's more something to watch to then have a better understanding of Greta Gerwig and where she came from. Okay,
so I guess on that note, how do you think this informs, like, are there themes that you saw in this film where you were like, oh, this is a Greta Gerwig film, obviously, because of this?
That's a hard one.
I think things that sorry, you can go ahead.
Well, my first thought was, even though it's technically about both characters, I feel like Greta Gerwig is the main character because maybe that's just me because I'm a girl, but I felt like I connected with her more. And also I didn't like Joe Duplass's, or not
I
Joe
felt the same way
Swanberg's.
though, even as a boy.
Okay, so it's just that we didn't like Joe Swanberg and we liked Greta Gerwig. And she just focuses on female leads.
Sure, yeah.
And like the female experience, especially I think with love.
Oh,
love
interesting.
Interests.
Yeah, females. Love. Identity.
Maybe.
Yeah. I could. Oh, yeah. See, because you could say all of those things about Barbie.
Yeah.
Females. Barbie.
Definitely. Pretty female. Yeah.
Love. Identity. Oh, What Was I Made For by Billie Eilish?
Exactly.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah. I think that's a good, I think I was going to say, could you say that about any movie? And not really. Like, I think that's actually pretty specifically Greta Gerwig. I'm surprised that you were able to, that's impressive of
Thank you. Thank you.
To notice those themes. I have
spent the last month of my life researching Greta Gerwig. So.
It's just so interesting to think about Greta Gerwig's personal story arc of her coming from making Nights and Weekends all the way to making one of the biggest films like ever.
Barbie.
Yeah.
Like it has been 20 years, 15 years.
And I'm sure if you take any
yeah.
filmmaker and put their first film up against their best success.
Yeah. But also Greta Gerwig is like kind of a unique example, which I mean, you can also look at the guy who made Whiplash and La La Land.
Oh yeah. I forget his name.
Damien Chavez.
Okay.
Something like that. He was a mumblecore guy.
Really?
Yeah. And then now he's making these things. And then there's also
insanely
maybe
hyper.
Chavez is the Moonlight guy, because there's also the Moonlight guy, the guy who made Moonlight.
Oh, okay. Was he also a mumblecore?
He also was a mumblecore guy.
Wow.
So, and I think that kind of this new era of filmmakers that we now have, who are kind of like in their they're like the millennial filmmakers, so like mid 30s filmmakers. They're kind of the first generation of directors whose early work was not like a studio thing because it was easily accessible.
Right.
So
That's
I
pretty
think
cool.
if you were to look at maybe Steven Spielberg's first movie, it might be better
interesting.
because it's like
Part of a studio. It has budget, all that kind of stuff.
or even Hitchcock. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Is there any other notable parts about Nights and Weekends that you wanted to bring up? Thoughts, emotions, feelings, a review? 5 stars? 1 star?
Well, I did tell you I just saw Love Me in theaters, the new Kristen Stewart movie.
Right.
I did enjoy this movie, Nights and Weekends, more than I enjoyed.
Actually?
Yeah, I really
Wow.
did not. That movie, I was at the theater. I really had to go to the bathroom. I was like, it's almost over. I should just wait. And then I looked at the time and there was still like 40 minutes left of the movie. And I was like, are you kidding me? It's an hour and a half long movie. It felt like it was 3 hours long.
Oh my goodness.
And it was like, then I showed you that Letterboxd review that was like this movie, which is 92 minutes long. This movie was the longest. No. Oh,
this movie was
92 minutes too long.
It was 92 minutes too long in a 92-minute movie.
It's so true. It was such a long movie.
It's
So this one
harsh,
was better.
but I feel like, yeah, that
I
sucks.
rated that 1.5 stars. So I guess
1.5.
I don't know. I don't know why I did
Like, what's
that.
your 1 star? What's your half star?
My half star was Back in Action, which was a Netflix movie, which was just bad in all ways.
Oh, okay.
At least Love Me, I could understand what they were trying to do.
I see.
And it was like, there were parts of it that were impressive. Like, they had really good CGI and stuff. But
Oh, cool.
then there was other stuff that was just not good at all. So
Yeah. You know, that app RunPee,
yeah.
I think that if you opened the RunPee app, if you
During-
don't know what it
during
is,
that.
actually, it's a movie or it's an app where you can open it. You could tell it which movie you're watching. You hit a timer in the beginning, like right when the movie starts. And if you need to pee in the middle of a movie, you could check it and then it'll say, you know what, this isn't a good time to go pee because something important is about to happen in the movie. So go pee in like 5 minutes and then that'll be a better time. The next 5 minutes is a little boring. And then you can go pee and then come back and it'll give you a little summary of what happened while you were in the restroom. Really fascinating, great app. I would recommend downloading it. The only unfortunate part is that if you used RunPee during this movie, it would just say, oh, go to the restroom literally whenever. Nothing's important to watch.
Wait, that actually reminds me that I was okay. So I also saw Companion, and I was trying to figure out. I also went to the bathroom during that time. I have a very small bladder, so if I go to the movies with you, I will 100% go to the bathroom during that time. I went to the bathroom. I came back. One of the characters had died,
Oh,
and I
no.
was like, "What happened?" So I tried to Google it later, and then I was trying to look up RunPee to like see if it would have a summary of around the time when I went to the bathroom. And so I looked something up and then it thought I was talking about some song, and it was like it being Google's AI thing that it comes up with. It was like, this is a 3-minute song and most people can hold it for 3 minutes. So you should probably not go to the bathroom.
Google tried to be RunPee for you.
It was trying to tell me, like I would Google what time should I go to the bathroom during this song.
Google, I'm at a concert, wondering when I should go pee. Is it? Can I go?
Specifically this song.
It's only 3 minutes. You can hold it. You got it, girl.
Like, not helpful.
Yeah. Personally, and again, I think my definition of a movie is different. Like, I think my definition of a movie is intentionally trying to be cinematically beautiful, being clever or interesting, having good dialogue, having interesting characters, depth, symbolism, good editing, anything. And this just isn't because it has none of those goals. To me, not even a story. It's hard to call this a movie, so I'm going to not rate it.
Okay.
No offense to anybody. I just think this is it. It's kind of like asking a film critic to watch a vlog. It's like, why would you rate a vlog? It wasn't even trying to be rated. It was just a vlog, you know?
Yeah.
So all that to say, it's just a different experience. But it is really interesting how you could see Greta Gerwig's like film beginnings come out in this.
Yeah. The one thing that we didn't talk about, which definitely gives it an extra star for me,
Okay.
is that plant scene. Which is
That was actually really funny.
That was one of the funniest.
I forgot about
one
that.
of the funniest scenes actually in a movie that I feel like I've seen in a while. Like she's watering her plant and then she waters it too much, and just the face that she makes. Like I feel like I've made that same face. She like kind of like looks around like she's expecting someone to like help her.
Yeah.
No one's there.
But it's because the water comes out the bottom of the plant, which happens when you don't water a plant for a long time. It's so dry that the water just rushes through the soil and it's not getting soaked up by anything. So it's all, I feel like it's funny because her character definitely would have a plant that wasn't watered for a long time. So I feel like that was either Greta Gerwig's actual plant and that's just her life, in which case it was not an impressive joke, or it was really intentionally like, oh, my character would not take care of a plant.
Yeah.
And then she just cupped her hands underneath the stream of water that was coming out from the bottom of the plant.
Tried to put it back in the top.
She tried to re-water it.
Oh my gosh. It was so funny.
Oh, that was
and
good.
it definitely was like way more chaotic than it needed to be.
Yeah.
Like it didn't need to be cleaned up with that much intensity.
Right.
It was like not that much of a spill that she needed to, I don't know. It was so funny.
It was pretty funny. So I give it half a star at least for that.
Yeah.
But the rest of it, it's hard for me to categorize it as
I think
a
I'm
movie.
going to give it 1 star.
Okay. There you go. All right. Before we get off for the day, we have a fun game that you can play along with us at home. This is a real card game that we found at a bookstore in Roslyn, Washington. Shout out to Base Camp Books.
I'm glad you remembered where we got it because I forgot.
Yeah, Base Camp Books. The great coffee shop and bookstore, way out in the middle of nowhere, though, so you really got to only go if you're local. So the game is movies that are explained very poorly. So it'll give you it'll describe the movie, but it'll attempt to do it in a way that is inaccurate, in such a way that it like vaguely, it's like, oh, I guess that would be a funny way of describing the movie. But anyways, I feel like we should do an example round. Could you read one from like the front of the box?
Yeah.
Okay. So try to guess what this movie is.
A single father loses his son, but he finds him at the dentist.
That is Finding Nemo. Isn't that funny?
Very timely because you just talked about
I used it
that.
as an example.
Yeah.
But because that's what happens at the end of the movie. It's not actually, it's like during our Alien episode, I said that it's my favorite movie about saving a cat.
Yeah.
Which is like, technically, that happens.
Yeah.
It's not what the movie's actually about. But anyways, so we're going to play a couple rounds of this. Marina has a couple for me, and I'm going to try to guess it. But if you can guess it before me at home, then you'll gain a point. And then if I can guess it before you at home, I gain a point.
Yeah. And we'll see who
the real winner is.
Points.
Okay, here we go.
Okay. Oh, there's also a hint.
Oh,
So
if I
guess-
need a hint, I can.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. A demoted cop saves a small town from a mass murder.
Oh, wait, can you clarify that you definitely know that I know this movie?
Yes.
Okay. Because some of these movie games, I haven't seen every movie in existence, obviously.
I've seen all the movies. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, can you read it one more time?
A demoted cop saves a small town from a mass murder.
At first I was thinking Stranger Things, but that's not a movie. Demoted cop. Okay, movies with cops. Oh, Jaws?
No, but
That's a
kinda
pretty good one.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a more literal mass murder.
Oh, I don't know any like horror movies off the top of my head that have a cop in it. I don't know. Can I have a hint?
Yeah, the hint is not very good.
Oh, darn.
Or maybe it is, and I haven't seen this movie in
Okay.
The hint is there's a swan.
There's a swan. I don't know.
Hot
Okay.
Fuzz. Oh, sorry.
It's Hot Fuzz?
Yeah.
Oh, man, I haven't seen Hot Fuzz in a long time. I hardly remember that.
I don't know if I would have.
Okay. That is actually historically on a list of one of my favorite films.
Yeah.
I would put it definitely in my top 20. Mm-hmm. But
we should watch that again.
I would say I need to watch it again. It's been too long.
I think we watched that like freshman year.
Yeah. I definitely wouldn't have guessed that, so I'm glad you told me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
1 point for the audience member.
If you got it.
If you got it. Yeah, if you got it. All right. What's next?
A photographer scams the editor-in-chief of a local newspaper.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Sick. That was pretty good.
Okay. A bunch of people all fall asleep on a plane.
Can I have a hint?
They dream a lot.
What? They fall asleep on a plane. A bunch of Well, I have no idea.
Do you want the year?
Sure.
2010.
Yeah, that didn't help me at all. What was it?
Inception.
Oh, it's on a plane?
I don't remember it being on a plane.
Was that where like the first
Maybe
dream happens? That's interesting. I know a lot of other things about Inception, but not that part.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was just hoping you'd remember it or you'd think about it because.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That dream a lot is a good one.
Yeah. A bird lover saves a young child from criminals.
That's funny because the movie Bird that we saw at the Bend Film Festival is basically that.
Oh my gosh.
But I know it's not that movie. But that's a really good description of that movie.
Yeah.
But that was a really bad movie.
Yeah, and
it
this is
just
like
came
the
out.
complete
So
other side of
yeah.
Genre.
A bird.
No, not a bird lover.
Oh, a bird lover. Sorry, my mind went to the Bird movie.
Yeah, in Bird, a bird saves the child.
Yes.
In this movie, it's a bird lover.
A bird lover. Can I have the hint?
In New York.
A bird lover in New York. I bet you everybody at home is just screaming at their car
Can I
as
give
they're
you
driving.
one more hint?
Yeah, give me your own hint.
Okay, it's a Christmas movie.
Oh, okay.
Do you want me
Well,
to
it's
read it
not
again?
Elf. It can't be Elf. A bird lover in New York saves a child from criminals.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what it was? I can't think of I think the bird thing is throwing me off.
Yeah.
What is it?
Think about a young child and criminals.
Home
and
Alone?
Christmas in New York.
Isn't Home Alone in New York? Is it
You're
not?
close.
Oh gosh, I don't know. I'm getting nervous now. What is it?
Home Alone Lost in New York.
Oh, I should. That counts. That counts.
It kind of counts, but
It
it's
counts,
the second one.
But also, you had to give me another hint. Well, sorry to end on that note. I wish that I got more points, but I think the audience has potential of getting more points than me
I'm
this time.
starting to think this game is absolutely impossible.
The game is called Poorly Explained Movies, a game in parentheses. So if you want to play at home and you've watched more movies than us, then I think you'll have a better time with it than we do. But that's only because sometimes I'm just bad at these types of games. And that's
Yeah.
okay. But we'll maybe pull that out in a future episode again. Maybe we'll handpick some ones that we think are good for the other person. But until next time, wanted to say thanks for talking about Mumblecore with us.
Yeah.
And Marina, thanks for teaching us.
Of course.
We appreciate it.
Sorry to put you through that.
Hey, it's okay. It was a good experience. I had fun laughing at the movie. If you want to tell me your score of the game, whether you won or lost, you can DM us on Instagram at Marina's Movie Club.
Maybe we'll put a little post on there. You can comment on the post.
Who knows? We'll see. And if you want to keep up with us and all the movies that we're watching, you can follow us on Letterboxd at Movie Club Pod. If you want to read Marina's reviews in form of article rather
reading.
than form of podcast, then you can go to marinasmovieclub.com. We'd love it if you left us a review. You could follow the link in the show notes below to get a free sticker.
You can give us any rating and we'll send you a sticker.
Yeah, just rate the pod.
Yeah.
Just do your part. Rate your local podcast. Listen local. I don't know. Anything else?
I don't know.
That's it. Okay.
It's a very Mumblecore way to end it.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
All right. On that note, bye.
Bye, everyone.